Let's hop in my Maserati. Baby, hop in my Maserati. I said hop in my Maserati.
Hello, my name is Johnny. Welcome to my Maserati Granturismo video blog page.
Hello viewers, welcome to my page. My name is Johnny Herrera and I drive a Maserati Granturismo. Well, to start with, this was an issue that I had to take care of. I took the car back in December to get a wheel alignment. It took several tries to get it to align up. On top of that, they found two front tires with separate cords so they couldn't balance the tires well, so I had new tires installed. The job at the end cost me around $1,000. Wheel alignment about $250, $300. Tires each about $300. Well, that's done. Now, January 2023, around that time frame, my steering wheel starts angling to the right. I'm going straight. Not sure why. But one day around the end of January, it's heavy rain in the morning going to work, and the car starts feeling out of control, like it's fishtailing. My suspension lights came on, take it to the dealer, came on, my ECM, a few other error sensors lit up on the dashboard, and the traction control was off, totally off. Parking brake was off as well. So anyways, the car was drivable, but no check engine light came on. I ran a code reader, nothing. When I turned the car off, everything went away. When I started driving the car again, about a minute, maybe 2 minutes into driving, all the lights flashed on the dashboard with the same error, with the suspension problem. Well, so one day leaving work, I turned the wheels left. I turned to the left to see the tire rod end, how it looked over there. Everything looked fine. The nut was tight, so I took my little wrench out of my tool bag that I take to work sometimes, and I just make sure to give it a nice little tug. Nut was tight. Then I went to the right side, turned the wheel outboard towards the right because the tire rod end is in the front. Then that nut was just hand loose. Basically, I was like, oh, hello. But the rod was still tight in place, so I tightened the nut on the right side tie rod end in the front. Okay, so this weekend I go to a coffee and gasoline meeting, car meet at one of the local malls here in Jacksonville, Florida. They do it every first Saturday of the month. And on the way there, the car felt fishtailing, sluggish on the suspension, like no control. So I drove there anyways because I had to get my taxes done that after noon time. I'm a tax preparer on Saturday. Anyways, so that's like Saturday, the 11th or whatever the date is. I forget what was the date. Anyways, so I drive all the way to Jax Beach, which is a full 30-hour minimum from the west side of Jacksonville to Jax Beach, and the car's struggling. I mean, I'm on the right lane because I cannot speed. It really feels like the back end is freestyling, but also my steering wheel is 45 degrees to the right, and I'm looking at the rear of the car through my left rear mirror, like the car is, crabbing. That's the best way to explain it. Like the rear end is steering the car, and the front end is compensating for the steer, but the car is crabbing. But anytime it hit a pothole or a puddle of water, the car will fishtail and really convulse, like a figure eight convulsion. I was like, wow. So I drove it extremely careful, auto correcting the steering wheel quite a few, the whole drive, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back to the west side of Jacksonville. So then I decided, let me jack up the rear end, see why. Well, I parked the car, so I kind of walk around and I took a closer look at the tires. The left rear tire was towed in somehow. It's like, whoa. So I reach on the back of the tire, and the tire rod ends were right. It's right there. It's an adjustment tire rod end. The nuts were loose. Well, the tire rod end was loose. Actually, he moved. It loosened up about half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. That's how much camber in the rear tire had. if you can imagine. So the front end had to compensate for the camber and for the left rear tire. So I go to the right tire. Now I'm just jacking up the car. So I jacked up the car, and I took out the rear tires, and sure thing. So I took a wrench and I tightened up the 19 millimeter, I believe it was, yes. Tightened up the left rear tire end, brought it back to spec. Well, back to where the nut was settled and locked, because of the one of the nuts, the outer nut that was closer to the tire did not move. So I brought it back in, tightened up and locked the lock nut that was the one inner towards the inside of the car. And I since I work aviation maintenance for ground support equipment, I use safety wire, and I safety wire locked that both nuts. That way they come loose, they will not back out. I did the same thing for the right side. The right side, everything was tight, everything checked good. The wheel looked like it's on point, straight, as you can see, my hand straight right here. So the right rear seemed to be okay. So I went to the front. I was wondering why in the world my steering wheel was 45 degrees, like so, not like so. You know, I couldn't put my thumbs on the sides of the steering wheel like you normally do. One thumb on the left, and then you got one thumb on the right. I had to drive it it was 45 degrees basically my steering wheel. So I removed the steering knuckle from the steering rack or the U-joint. I said maybe I need to just pull and adjust and take out maybe a temporary adjustment on the steering wheel. Well, didn't realize, because I didn't know, never taken the steering rod off the top of the steering rack. The one of the part is flat, and one of the part is a half moon where the bolt goes through to tighten up the pinch part of the knuckle, the U-joint, universal joint on the bottom of the steering column in the engine compartment. So I put it all back together, struggling through rain, Saturday night afternoon, Saturday night. Yes, I was in the rain working all that. Okay, it's Florida, so you know it's February, so it's warm. It's not that bad of the weather, really. But anyways, so Sunday morning, I come out to the garage, and I said, you know what? Let me put everything back in. So I put everything back on, tighten up the steering, check out all the steering rods on the front, the back again, and I safety wire everything. I'll show you in this video how I do safety wire, the way I do safety wire on aircraft components, all ground support equipment that requires safety wire. Aviation or ground support equipment is anything that's used on the ground on airplanes while it's being serviced or towed or handled while it's on the ground, or you know, luggage carts and stuff like that at regular commercial airports. But I work for an MRO that repairs aircraft. We repair Delta, JetBlue, Amazon Prime, you name it. We repair wide-body aircraft, B767, B757, Airbus A300, A320s, MD-80s. We have a slew of aircraft that we repair depending on what the customer brings us, what the contract dictates. But I run the ground support equipment department, and I've been doing this for 20 years in the Navy. Same thing, aircraft carrier, naval air stations overseas, stateside, and also I've been working with this company for 15 years. So you can add 20 plus 15, that is 35 years of experience working on heavy industry, wheel alignment, suspensions, transmissions, diesel engine, gasoline engines, cryogenics, gaseous cryogenics, hydraulics, aircraft starting turbines, small turbine engines that we use to start the aircraft, power generators, 400 hertz, 400 hertz, 480 volts input, the inside power unit. So it's a lot of stuff I do, welding, fabrication, you name it, air conditioning, discharging, recharging. We maintain anything that supports the aircraft on the ground. I am in a mechanic world that is unique for mechanics. We do everything: tire building, tire breakdown, engine building, transmission building, rear end, differentials, brake systems, and you gotta add golf carts. Then on top of that, add machine shop, machines, lathes, turret drills, metal bender, metal cutters. We do a lot of stuff. Me and my two guys that work for me in the morning. My other shift in the second shift has two guys. Anyways, we all former ground support equipment mechanics from the Navy, U.S. Navy, GSC mechanics, ASS, aviation ground support equipment. I was an I was an electrician, electronics basically. We had a 2-year degree with ATT technology, a bachelor, associate's degree of electronics engineering, and another bachelor's degree for some other stuff, business management administration, plus many technical courses, you name it. Anyways, I also have the aircraft paint and finish. Cool. So what I'm saying is that I have a lot of experience and with documentation to back it up. So my car suffering from a poor quality check on the alignment components, the hardware, especially the hardware, the nuts came loose while I was driving. This literally almost killed me because the car started doing the figure eight, and I had to bring it back into control. Wet Saturday morning. Oh, anyways, so my complaint will be to the company that did the alignment on my car. I will not mention the company. I will talk to them directly, but this video will be published and it will be shown to them. And if I had to bring their name into the picture, I will bring their name into the picture, because obviously I paid over $1,000 to do tire wheel alignments on my Maserati Granturismo, plus two front tires installed. Anyways, so just to rant a little bit, not too happy, but I dealt with it. You know, I did not get a tow truck. I drove the car safely to my house. Tells me I was in the right lane doing 55 in a 70, 65 miles an hour highway zone. 295, I-95, the highway system here in Jacksonville, Florida. Anyways, so without further ado, I am going to play and add the videos after my little speech, and I will bring this up to the general manager, the European car place in Phillips Highway. No name. You figure that one out yourself. Anyways, so hopefully they'll be fair to do something, at least an alignment, a realignment on my car, check my alignment, whatever needs to be done, or some credit for my next alignment. Thank you, watchers. Thank you, viewers. Like and subscribe to my page. I don't do a lot of videos, but this is going to be, you know, something to be aware with when you get your tires aligned and balanced and installed. I also, once my car comes home after installing tires, I take my torque wrench and I torque check all my wheels on the ground. I use 97 foot-pounds on my torque wrench, and I check my torque about every 2 weeks. I break out the torque wrench, check the tire pressures, and I check that anyways. All right, thanks for watching, y'all. Like and subscribe. Maserati every day. All right. Cheers.